Hello and welcome to episode 22. I hope the new year's started really well for everyone. I hope everything seems to be going okay for you and that just things are working out as much as they can. On the show today, it's three things mainly I'm going to talk about. The first of which, as I always do, I'm going to do a little update on myself. Um, in all fairness, that pretty much is how I start most shows. Um, I'm then going to introduce you all to another little project. Uh, I've created a website for everything I've got going on, and I'll explain more later in the show. Also, I know in the last show I mentioned that I'm going to be going down to London later in the year to do the MS Society's 5K. I've signed up to do the Challenge 28 for the MS Society over February. So again, I will explain that over the next few minutes. All right, I'm going to start today updating you with myself. Been a bit of a strange week. I've got to say that it has been really strange. I've had this kind of new feeling start. And it doesn't matter where I am. And I'll be honest with you, I've questioned myself a few times because it feels like I've got water dripping onto the top of my head. It's really disconcerting, I've got to tell you. I mean, I can just be sat, whether I'm in the office at work or whether I'm coming home on the scooter or going to work on the scooter. That's where you'd expect to feel a bit of rain on your head. Yep, this is indoors too. I mean, I can be sat on the sofa or anything. And it doesn't last particularly long. It just sort of, it starts and it's just tiny little droplets that sort of hit onto my head. I've got to say, it's seeming currently to be the left side. I get it occasionally on the right, but mainly on the left side. And I just find it really disconcerting. I mean, it's not a pain or anything. It's literally, it genuinely feels like the odd little droplet of water. If you're laying in a bath and you've got a shower above your head and a little bit of water comes out the shower, that's how it feels. And yeah, I say it doesn't last particularly long, but it's quite new. And yes, it's disconcerting. A very, very strange feeling. It's one that I don't quite understand yet. So I'll have to sort of try and figure out a way of getting used to it and kind of amalgamate it into all the other bits and pieces that I have issues with. I've been getting quite a lot of pain in mainly my left calf muscle, and I have to say, when it happens, it's been a couple of instances where I've had this pain and it shoots into the left calf, and actually it's nearly knocked me to the floor. It's been quite horrible. When it hits and it hits hard. And I must admit, I'm sort of finding a way to try and get used to it, to try and understand it. But yeah, it's not nice. It really isn't nice at all. And I've got to say it, I understand it's the sort of thing I've got to get used to going forward. And yeah, I'm going to. But it's sort of, I'll say the word again, it's very disconcerting because I'm not understanding it. I'm struggling to understand why all these new pains and feelings and whatever else hit, and they sort of hit in batches, and it's strange. It's strange. I'm carrying on. I'm fighting along as I always will, but all these new bits and pieces are different. Different is about the best I can say. It's just sort of trying to find a happy medium with them, which currently I am doing. But yeah, it's sort of changing my thought process on things a little bit. I've got to say that. But that's probably about enough of me complaining. There is the other bit that I want to talk about is something I'm really proud of. I'm incredibly proud of this podcast, to say the least. Anyway, I absolutely love coming on here and talking to you all. I really do. And actually, it helps me an awful lot, because, in all truth, it helps me get things off my chest that sit there. And I know I've said that before, but sometimes you've got thoughts in your head and you want to get them out, but you don't know how to get them out. But sitting here in front of my mobile phone, I'm sat here, I'm looking at my mobile phone screen, which is recording me. I've got my new microphone in front of me. I've got my sound desk sat here. And it's just nice to sit kind of alone and get the thoughts out. And hopefully this can sort of help other people to see that actually there are ways to get things out and about. There's ways to stop things being stuck in your head. But yeah, as I was saying, I've created this website to go along with this podcast and my social media channels. The website is mikesmsjourney.com. I'm going to try and add new blogs to that website 2 to 3 times a week, just to sort of keep you all up to date with how things are going. Obviously, this podcast is a once a week job, so we we'll try and blog along a couple of times a week, just to sort of keep everything going, so that you can all have a look and see where I am, see what I've got going on, because it's not all, I'm going to say it, the blog, not all going to be MS based. If I've got other stuff going on, sort of happier stuff and whatever, I'm going to blog it, because not everything needs to be negative. You know, I'm a positive person and I intend to continue being so. What I've also done alongside that website is I've actually got a dedicated email address that goes to the website, and that is mike@mikesmsjourney.com. Please contact me on there if you've got conversations you want to have, if you want to just ask me some questions, because I really do want to get some Q&A going on this podcast. So if you've got questions, please, mike@mikesmsjourney.com, ping them across. I will be straight. If they're not a sensible question, or you're being a bit over the top nasty, you're going to get ignored. It really is that simple. I'm not that kind of person that's going to engage with that kind of thing. But if it's a sensible question, or not even sensible, if it's just a question that actually needs to be answered, I will do my best to answer it. And by all means, if you leave your name and just the country you're from, I'll give you a shout out on this podcast. Because again, I want to start thanking people for listening. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to download and listen to what I've got to say. Because genuinely, each and every one of you is helping me in a way that you don't actually realise. And that is why I appreciate everything that you are doing by supporting me in listening to this podcast. If you're on my social media channels, again, just chucking a like on a post that I put up, absolutely incredible. Massively appreciate it. You know, follow me along on those social media channels, because again, I want to get my story out there to try and help others with their stories, if that makes sense. You know, I want to try and build some confidence for people to be able to talk about what they've got going on. So yeah, by all means, contact me. I will say it again. The website is mikesmsjourney.com, and the email address is mike@mikesmsjourney.com. Hopefully that's nice and easy to remember. Again, pop along, come and talk to me, come and ask questions, whatever. Don't mind. Let's get conversations had. And finally, on today's show, again, something I'm massively proud of. And I've got to say this, the MS Society, absolutely superb. As a charity, for everything they do, they are incredible. And genuinely, I am incredibly proud to stand as tall as I can and just try and raise a bit of money for them. Because actually I'm raising money for each and every one of us with MS for just any kind of support that can be given. You know, whether that is just raising enough for a couple of blood tests to be done, or raising enough for an MRI scanner to be run, whatever. I don't care, just raising a bit of money. And that is why I've signed up to the MS Society's Challenge 28 for February. Now, what that entails is every day in February being active for 28 minutes. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's not going to be easy. It really isn't going to be easy because at the moment I am finding long stretches on my feet or whatever else quite difficult. But I'm getting through them. As I've said many, many times, and I will continue to say, I will never back down from this challenge. You know, I've heard it said, and I've said it myself, I've got MS. MS does not have me. It's picked somebody with fight. It's picked somebody with determination. And I totally understand I'm never going to beat it. But I'm going to fight it. And it's going to know it's been in a fight. And if that means doing whatever I can to try and raise little bits of money to try and go towards help and support, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it with a smile on my face. And if at the end of doing that, I've got pains in places, those pains are worth it. Because this is a fight I'm not backing down from. This is a fight I am proud to stand up tall and have. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this. As an MS community, we've got this. We can do it. Not easy. No chance it's going to be easy, but we can do it. So I'm going to do it. The one thing, to be fair, I was kind of always trying to shy away from. But I am on Just Giving for raising this money for the MS Society for the Challenge 28. My handle on Just Giving is Mikes_MS_journey. If you are in any position at all to come along and sponsor me, I would massively appreciate it. But please only do that if you are in a position to do so. I'm not being funny. We all know how the world is these days. Having spare money is something not many people have. So do not, under any circumstance, sponsor me if it is going to leave you remotely short. Please don't do that. Only sponsor me if you are able. And if you are able and you do manage to sponsor me, I'm incredibly grateful. And I'll be honest with you, I will be getting through this challenge. I will fight my way through it, and I will fight my way through it with a smile on my face every single day. Because, and again, I'm going to say it, MS Society is an incredible charity. And just doing my little bit makes me incredibly proud. Well, I think that's probably about enough for today. Again, I'm going to say the same thing I say on every episode, and I always will. Thank you for listening. I've said it earlier on. Thank you for listening. It is incredibly appreciated. Each and every one of you is incredibly appreciated. And I hope you have a good week. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.